Today's topic is the 60-minute Turkish get-up test. Yes, you heard me correctly. It is indeed the 60-minute Turkish get-up test. We are not mental, and we don't just give this test to any old person. There is a specific criteria you need to get to in order to warrant to get this test, which we will talk about in this podcast. James, do you want to talk about why and how and what on earth with the 60-minute Turkish get-up test?
The number of times we've been called mental for doing this is incredible. Quite literally incredible. And I understand it from the old way of thinking about things. And if you go through
it sounds a bit crazy, doesn't it? Sounds a bit crazy.
Absolutely. But you've got to put it into context of where we introduce this for the athletes that we're working with and who we're trying to help and what it's for. So, yes, the old days of FMS, RKC, Strong First, it was all about the one perfect get-up where you get your goniometer out and it's the most perfect of perfect get-ups, and thinking about that. It was all well and good. That was the mid-2000s where they were debating how Turkish get-ups should be done and how they should be executed till the cows come home. And I was privy to many of these conversations, which bored the bejesus out of me. But that's a whole different thing altogether. But what the main thing is understanding is this, that a lot of people are focused on, yes, you want to do, it's a gracious movement. It's a quality movement. It knits the body from top to toe in terms of strength. And I think it's a fantastic exercise everybody should do. So we do. We want to teach it. We teach get-ups as a staple throughout all of our training programs. However, they get to a point where somebody owns this movement 100%, right? And we want to add weight. However, we don't always want to add too much weight because too much weight can get sometimes stupid. A lot of people I've seen trying to chase the beast get-up, which is a kettlebell get-up with Turkish get-up with a 48 kilos. It's just way too much for them, and there's potential to get injured. There's potential for things to go wrong, i.e. fall on your face, right? Which is all well and good for really advanced people. However, what we're looking for is work capacity and this idea of athletes to have this all-day strong mentality. I remember this phrase by Mark Rifkin, actually, from the kettlebell world, with this idea of all-day strong. It's always stuck with me. And in terms of our hierarchy of athletic development, we have this thing called mental resilience. So what are some of the mental resilience tests that we can do? Well, a 10K run is potentially one of them. And we feel, in terms of strength training, we have this thing called the 60-minute Turkish get-up test. Now, you do have to earn the right to get there, but I promise you this, once you get there, it is definitely a test of mental resilience, right? But you have to own the movement. We're not just going to give you and say, hey, go with X weight and do as many reps in an hour. That is stupid. It's an advanced test for an advanced athlete or everyday athlete, and you've got to earn the right to get there. So, lots of reasons why we do it.
Yeah, you have to be proficient in the movement first.
And it's not about
before you go anywhere near this test.
And it's not doing about multiple reps badly. It's about doing them really well. But for us, this is a true expression of this mental resilience, work capacity, and this idea that you can keep on going all day and just replenish your battery. It's all about this thing we call the strength battery, right? You want to recover as fast as you can to keep going and going and going. That's what life's all about. We want athletes that can just keep on going, not burn out after 3 to 5 reps, which is what they normally test out on. So for us, it's about this work capacity and resilience that goes beyond just cardiovascular capacity. It's this strength, resilience, and teaching the body to move efficiently, under load, and have that economy so they can last that full 60 minutes, right? I think that's a good way to give a rough idea and a background of where this was born from. Have I missed anything out there, Josh?
No, I don't think so. I was going to say, I think the Turkish get-up done well is a beautiful expression of movement, mobility, strength. It is a really graceful movement when you can do one. When you can do one properly and you can do one well, and you've got good technique, which is obviously what we build people up to. And at layer 2-2, we have a get-up test, which is 5 continuous reps on each side, which, often people struggle with that test in itself. So there's no way, if you can't do that test, then there's no way we're going to go and tell you to do 60 minutes of Turkish get-up. So you have to earn the right. And you have to work your way towards that 60-minute get-up test as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about training for it, or how we could potentially train for it?
Well, I think as well, we're going to cover the fact that there's weight categories to this as well. I think we've got to mention the fact that it's not just hey, pick up an 8 kilo weight and just go for as many get-ups as you can. It's all based on body weight. So for men, if you're under 68 kilos, it's 20 kilos. Under, I think, 80 kilos, it's 24 kilos. And above 80 kilos, it's 28 kilos. So it's all dependent on body weight. And the same with women. Anything under 58 kilos, it's 12 kilos. And anything above 58 kilos, it's 16 kilos as part of the get-up test. So there's weight categories to this. And that's what the preceding test is all about. Layer 2.2 is all about us having this. Can they do 5 continuous reps on the right-hand side with your body weight, with your category weight, and then do it on the left-hand side as well? So that's the prerequisite. So we're not going to even attempt this test until they can do this and do this well. And that's the key to it, okay? It's movement economy with precision under load, which I think is one of the highest forms of expression in strength training I believe that you can do. And it turns you into absolute mutants as an athlete from what we've seen.
And as you say, for us, it's all about being, as you said, all day strong and having great work capacity, great muscular endurance, strength endurance, across all the facets of movement and strength. And it's about training someone up, because we had one of our clients who's got the best score ever, Jerome, who worked with us a couple of years back. What was he? Got 164 reps, yep. I want to say off the top of my head, which is absolutely incredible. And he did provide us with video evidence of the test, and I have to say his technique was flawless. So I can't argue with it, because when I saw that score, I was like, my God, that's amazing. But we didn't just throw Jerome into that test. We'd built him up. He'd done loads of mixed modal with the get-ups at lighter weights, and he worked up to, doing 60 minutes of continuous work in a mixed modal setting, so not just 60 minutes of get-ups. He'd done some cyclical work with some get-ups, with some core work or upper body work, whatever it was. He'd done all sorts of stuff, and he already had great work capacity, which is why we felt confident about giving him this test in the first place.
Exactly, and it's not just Jerome. There's loads of the women pass it as well. Like, I think Lydia was the first person who did it. Jeannie did it as well. I think there are fantastic examples of doing it at those weight categories. And again, the baseline for us is over 100 reps. However, ideally, we'd love to see 120 minimum, and which gives you approximately, bang on 2 a minute. Basically, left side 30 seconds, right side 30 seconds, and that's the level of intensity. You always get into a flow-like state while doing it. And that's the kind of what we're trying to look for as they're trying to build onto it. So it's a great test. You have to earn the right to get there. And to do it in terms of training, you're right, mixed modality work, build it up slowly. Like, you could add a stop with a clock, do lighter weights to begin with. So 16 kilos for 10 minutes, 15, 20, 24, whatever it was, 28, 30, build it up slowly, then add weight and add volume. So we go for the volume approach first, and then we add weight when we're doing the longevity piece to go for longer. Yes, you can get stronger by going heavier, but if you can lift a 48 kilo kettlebell once, great, it means you're strong. I haven't yet seen somebody who can lift that 48 kilo and then go and do this test straight away after.
Oh my God, can you imagine someone doing the 60-minute test with a 48 kilo?
I bet there'll be somebody out there who gives it a go now. That's it. That's our beast challenge. That's our beast challenge now, right?
We don't recommend that, by the way.
No, we don't. Definitely not. But it just gives you something to work with. And if you want the standards and levels to aim for, that's us. And that us is us. If you want a really well-rounded athlete who's strong, who owns the movement, who owns strength, and can recover quickly, it's a fantastic test. And I implore you to give it a go at your peril.
I was going to say, potentially give it a go. Or rather, maybe don't give it a go, but maybe work yourself up to it. And as you say, in a mixed, nice, easy mixed modal setting is a good way to go for it. James, is there anything you want to add before we wrap up for today?
Do you know what? My favourite way of preparing for this is doing a 250-metre row. So do 250 metres in an X time, say a minute. Okay, let's just do it a minute, okay? And then you program the rower so it's a minute on or a minute off. And in that minute off, you time yourself to get off there and do those 2 get-ups in between, and you go back and forth between the 2. I think that's one of my, in the world of kettlebell terms, the program minimum is that's one of my ideal workouts to go to, that combines capacity and resilience right there, because 15, 20 minutes in, you will feel that. you will feel at the right intensity. So there you go. Just give that a go to help build it up if you want to.
No, it's a great workout. Nice, nice and simple. Really good workout. That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And if you want to find out more about our system of training, go to strengthmatters.com/system and get our free ebook.